You stumble out of the wasteland and see the makeshift walls of a barter town. You think you found civilization. You think you found safety. You are wrong, dead wrong. That improvised market isn't a sanctuary. It is a fatal funnel with a roof. It is a concentrated density of desperation and lethal intent. The second you step through that perimeter, the clock starts ticking. You aren't a customer here. You are a walking resource cache waiting to be harvested. Look around. See those eyes tracking your movement from the shadows? They aren't admiring your gear. They are doing the math. They are calculating the energy expenditure required to take what you have versus the kinetic risk you pose. In the new world, commerce is just conflict with a pause button. If you walk in there thinking about fair trade, you're already a casualty. You need to understand the physics of this environment. It's a predatory ecosystem.
Every handshake is an assessment. Every smile is a distraction. You need to learn the unspoken rules of engagement before you lose your supplies or your life. This is your briefing on how to navigate the shark tank without bleeding into the water. Step 1. Fix your visual signature. Stop looking like a loot drop. You walk in with a polished rifle and a clean plate carrier, thinking you look dangerous. Wrong. You look like a grocery store. To the vultures watching the gate, you are high-yield salvage, but look too weak, head down, shuffling, terrified, and you trigger a predator's hunt instinct. You need the tactical middle ground. It's called poverty camouflage. Execute this before you hit the perimeter. Rub ash on your skin to kill the shine. Slap duct tape on your rifle receiver even if it works fine. Bury your high-value optics in a rucksack wrapped in filth. You need to look like you possess just enough to survive, but not enough to be worth the bullet. Adjust your gait.
Don't march like a soldier. Don't cower like a victim. Walk with the weary irritation of someone who has fought for a can of beans before and really doesn't want the hustle today. The science here is simple. Predatory return on investment, ROI. Violence costs energy and risks injury. If you look like a hard target with pristine gear, the reward outweighs the risk. If you are a soft target, the risk is zero, making an attack inevitable. You must be a gray target. You are hacking their reticular activating system, RAS. The RAS filters incoming data to highlight threats or food. By projecting a visual signal of low value, moderate danger, their brain categorizes you as background noise. You don't register as a threat or a meal. You become invisible. The market isn't just a shop, it's a stage. The vendors are the actors, but the real threat is in the audience. Most rookies walk in and get tunnel vision on the merchandise. That is how you get tagged. Ignore the goods, scan the periphery. You are looking for the spotters. These are the eyes of the local warlord or the snatch and grab crew waiting outside.
Here is how you ID them. Look for the static elements in a dynamic environment. Shoppers move. They pick things up, they haggle, they look at goods. Spotters don't. They lean against walls. They sit near the exits. They aren't looking at the table. They are looking at hands and waistbands. Watch for triangulation. If you see one guy look at you and then immediately lock eyes with another guy across the crowd, you are being bracketed. That is the signal. They are weighing you. Check the verticality. Amateur bandits stay on the ground. Pros put a lookout on the roof or a second-story window. If you see a silhouette up high, assume you are in a crossfire. You are applying the principle of baseline anomaly detection. In any crowd, there is a natural, chaotic flow of movement, Brownian motion. People move randomly towards resources. A predator breaks this physics. Their movement is linear. Their focus is fixed. They exhibit predatory stare, a lack of psychotic eye movement because they are locked on a target. When you spot a static figure in a moving crowd, your alarm bells should shatter your eardrums. That isn't a person. That is a targeting computer. Clock them. Let them see you clock them. Sometimes just knowing they are burned is enough to make them pick an easier victim. Clear the sector. Now, engage the target. Barter is close quarters combat. Treat it that way. The moment you step up to a stall, you are in a psychological grapple. Amateurs think haggling is about math. It isn't. It is about dominance. If you accept the first price or even politely decline it, you have already lost. You have signaled that you are desperate or weak. You need to shatter their reality before you offer a single round of ammo in trade. Here is the drill. When they name a price, you perform the tactical flinch, visibly recoil. Look at them like they just insulted your mother. Then deploy the weapon of absolute silence. Stare at them. Let the silence hang in the air like toxic gas. Most people in a high-stress environment cannot handle the vacuum of silence. They will rush to fill it. They will start justifying the price. Or better yet, they will lower it themselves just to break the tension. Once they crock, you lowball them brutally. Offer a third of the value. You don't expect to pay that, but you need to shift the battlefield. Be ready to walk away. The strongest negotiating position is the ability to leave. If you turn your back, 90% of the time, the price drops. This exploits the cognitive flaw known as anchoring bias. The human brain relies heavily on the first piece of information offered, the anchor, to make subsequent judgments. By reacting with shock and offering a brutally low counter number, you rip up their anchor and set a new one deep in their territory. The silence triggers social pain. The brain processes social rejection in the same neural pathways as physical pain. You are hurting them with quiet. They will lower the price just to stop the pain. Crush them.
While you are haggling, they will try to hack you. Not with a computer, but with words. The vendor will smile and ask, "Just you out there?" Or, "Coming from the north?" This isn't small talk. This is reconnaissance. They are mapping your group strength and locating your base. Answer incorrectly, and a raiding party will follow your footprints home tonight. You need absolute information hygiene. Here is the protocol. Treat every question as an interrogation. Never give a straight answer. Use the fog. If they ask where you are from, wave vaguely at the horizon and say, "Moved to camp 3 days ago." It implies you are mobile and hard to pin down. If they ask if you are alone, the answer is always, "My team is watching the perimeter," even if you are solo, especially if you are solo. This plants the seed of a hidden threat, a sniper overwatch that doesn't exist. Never reveal your needs. Don't say, "We are starving." Say, "Looking to top off stocks." Desperation invites extortion. Abundance invites theft. Project sufficiency. This defense relies on disrupting elicitation techniques. Spies use conversational bridges to extract data without the subject realizing it.
By breaking the cooperative principle of conversation, Grice's maxims, specifically the maxim of quality and quantity, you feed them noise instead of signal. You are injecting entropy into their intelligence gathering. Their brain tries to build a pattern of your life, but you give them puzzle pieces that don't fit. Without a clear picture, the risk of attacking you remains a variable they can't solve. Keep them blind. Done. Pack it up. Now we move. You made the trade. You have the goods. Now you are in the red zone. This is statistically the most lethal phase of the mission. The moment you leave the market, you are heavier, slower, and distracted by your success. Every pair of eyes you felt earlier is now watching your back. Never, ever walk straight home. That is a death sentence. You need to execute an SDR, a surveillance detection route. Here is the maneuver. Do not head to your base. Head in the opposite direction.
Walk past a landmark, then circle back. Force anyone following you to make a move that exposes them. Use the pause. Stop abruptly to tie your boot or check your gear. Don't look at your feet. Use your peripheral vision to scan the rear 180-degree arc. If someone behind you stops when you stop, that is a positive confirm. They are tailing you. If you are burned, do not lead them to your stash. Lead them into a choke point, a narrow alley or a blind corner where you have the tactical advantage. Make them question if following you is worth the ambush waiting around the bend. This utilizes the OODA loop. Observe, orient, decide, act. Your pursuer is in a reactive cycle. They are watching you to decide their move. By moving erratically, doubling back, and pausing, you disrupt their observation phase. You force them to reorient constantly. You are overloading their cognitive processing speed. While they are trying to figure out why you turned left instead of right, you have already decided on your ambush point or your escape vector. You are inside their decision cycle. You win.
Survival isn't about the gear in your pack. It is about the software in your skull. Today, you didn't just buy supplies. You executed a military operation. You infiltrated a hostile environment, neutralized threats with psychology, extracted resources, and vanished without a trace. You stopped being a victim the moment you walked through that gate with a plan. The market is a microcosm of the new world. It doesn't care about fairness. It rewards the prepared and devours the naive. By mastering your visual signature, dominating the negotiation, and sanitizing your exit, you have graduated from prey to predator. You are now a hard target. That doesn't mean you are invincible. It means you are too costly to take down. In a world of starving wolves,
Be the porcupine. The next time you walk into that barter town, they won't look at you and see a meal. They will look at you and see a problem they don't want to solve. Secure your gear, stay dangerous.